Guys, welcome back to Beyond the Realms. Today I am on the road on my way to the AMC theater to see Dark Shadows, which this marks the 8th time that Tim Burton and Johnny Depp have worked together. I know some people think, they've overdone it a little bit, and maybe they have, but honestly, guys, I enjoy all of the films that they made together. I mean, even the recent ones that are just kind of Alice in Wonderland and the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I don't know. I don't ever mind seeing Johnny Depp, and I love Tim Burton's style, so I don't mind it. Now, as far as this film goes, I've actually never watched Dark Shadows, like the soap opera. I may have seen pieces here and there, but I just never watched it. I've never had the opportunity to, first off. I do remember my mom watching it. I can remember being little and her watching it and talking about it, and she still this day talks about it sometimes. But my own personal experience, I don't really have any with this movie, so I'm kind of going into this unbiased totally, and just anxious to see it. I mean, I always love the look and feel of Tim Burton's films. I just think he's amazing, and still is to this day, in my opinion. But just the look of this movie from the trailer, it looks like it could possibly be some of the best cinematography that Tim Burton's done. I mean, I don't know. I'll have to wait and see. So, yeah, I guess that's it. I guess I'll wait and see. Alright, guys, so I just finished watching Dark Shadows. Coming back out here to the car into the baking sun. It is extremely hot today. It says it's 97 degrees as far as this temperature says for the outside. Now, I doubt it's that hot, but it is pretty fucking hot. So, Dark Shadows, for those of you that don't know, it starts off in 1760, and showing Barnabas as a kid, and his dad moves the family to Maine to start a fishing business, and over the next 15 years they build the family estate. It's called Collinswood, and the town, they build up this town so much that eventually the name even becomes Collinsport. That's the name of the town. And eventually there's an accident that happens. Barnabas's parents are killed, and so he dives headlong into the dark arts, like dark magic, stuff like this. And there is a woman named Angelique that is in love with him, but Barnabas comes to love this other woman, and and something ends up happening, and she dies, and Barnabas is destroyed over it. And Angelique curses Barnabas into being a vampire, and she gets the whole town against him. They tie him up, they put him in a coffin and bury him. So then we flash forward to 1972, where Barnabas is awakened, and he returns to Collinswood and finds out that there are 4 family members left of the Collins family, which are residing at Collinswood now. And he doesn't know how to take things because things are so different, and he basically wants to get his family name back to where it was, as far as being a great fisherman family, and he basically wants to rebuild the family business and rebuild Collinswood to where it was. That's your basic story of the movie without giving too much more away. The first thing I have to say about this film, which was pretty much expected from interviews and stuff that I'd read leading up to this, is, the trailer really sets it up to being like a comedy. You see the scene with the television, and the scene with him, and which turns out to be Angelique, rolling all around this room and destroying a room and stuff like that. Like the trailer really plays it up as being way more comedic than what it actually is. The movie is actually pretty serious toned. You know, there are comedic parts and stuff like that, but it's played more in an awkward way, or, you know, like a black comedy. But even then, it's downplayed pretty much in the film. It's way more serious than what it lets on with the trailer, and I think that's going to throw some people off with this. I really liked the way it started. Like, I thought that the beginning to the movie, all the way up until almost midway, was very cool. It was very interesting. I liked it a lot. And then, you know, it just, I don't know, I guess you could say it had pacing issues. There was just a point in the middle of the film where I was just kind of bored with it, where it was just, I don't know, the story was kind of lacking, I thought. It was kind of just dragging along, and I felt myself kind of being antsy. And it did start to pick up towards the end, I thought, and it turned out to be a pretty decent film. Not too bad. Like I said, you know, I don't know anything about the original, so I don't know how this, you know, plays into everything as far as that goes. But looking at this movie on its own, it's pretty decent. I thought the cast was pretty good. Johnny Depp, I thought he was really good as Barnabas. He was entertaining, and at times he was menacing when he had to be. And there were other times where, you know, you thought he was going to be a kind guy, and he turned out to not be so kind, because he has to fulfill his bloodlust. He did pretty good in this. Michelle Pfeiffer plays Elizabeth Collins. She was pretty good. She wasn't used a whole lot in it, like to full effect, I didn't think. But she did pretty decent in her part. Helena Bonham Carter, or however the fuck you say her name. I actually, you know, I'm usually annoyed with her in ways, but I enjoyed her. I enjoyed her role in this. It was more downplayed, and not so over the top, and not so quirky as what you normally see her, especially in like Tim Burton films. She did pretty good. Eva Green as Angelique, she was pretty decent also. She's a very beautiful woman, and, you know, she of course has lived centuries while Barnabas has been tied up. So once he comes back, you know, she's trying to regain his love and all this stuff. Jackie Earle Haley shows up in this as like the Collinswood caretaker, and he's also a drunk and stuff. He was pretty good too. I didn't mind him. He had some pretty funny parts in it that was entertaining. Johnny Lee Miller shows up as Roger Collins, which is married to Elizabeth, Michelle Pfeiffer's character. He was pretty cool. Again, he was kind of underused and just most of the time just kind of there in the story, but worked well for what he did. Bella Heathcote showed up as Victoria Winters, which she is, you know, in the modern times, in 1972 times, she is comes to be the governess of the place, to watch over David Collins, which lost his mother, and he's, you know, they all think he's very disturbed and all this. But Bella she did a good job in her part, and, you know, Barnabas ends up, you know, falling for her and stuff like this. So there's a little struggle there with you know, trying to get her to fall in love, and she's just, you know, trying to understand everything that's going on around her. Chloe Grace Moretz, which some of you will know from Let Me In. I thought she did excellent as Carolyn. She's like the she's just the young daughter in the family that's that they can't really control, and they don't really understand why, and it's kind of revealed at the end why that is. But overall, guys, it's an entertaining film. you know, I expected the cinematography in this to really blow me away, and it didn't actually. It has the traditional, you know, gothic, dark, cloudy look that Tim Burton films have, but you know, it's nowhere near on the level of some of his other films that's came out. Now, I did probably like this better than Alice in Wonderland or I can't think of it right now, but I did like this better than a few of his other recent films. I do, however, like Sweeney Todd better than this as far as like Johnny Depp and Tim Burton collaborations go. But this still is nowhere near on the level of like Edward Scissorhands or even Sleepy Hollow, I didn't think. But still entertaining enough, a good movie. I think it's going to throw audiences off with the serious tone of it. I don't know how well people are really going to enjoy this if they're expecting it to be like that. But overall, guys, I give it a 6.5 out of 10. I couldn't really recommend checking this out in a theater. But then again, you know, I did see this in IMAX, and I have to say that it was fantastic looking in IMAX. Like, it's, you know, it was Blu-ray quality without a doubt. It had been a long time since I'd seen an IMAX movie. I think 300 was actually the last one I saw in IMAX. So, you know, seeing this in IMAX was enjoyable. It was beautiful, gorgeous picture to it. But overall, guys, I would say probably just wait and rent this and check it out. You know, I don't know if it's worth, you know, the premium price you have to pay at the theaters anymore. Just depends on how much of a hardcore Johnny Depp or, you know, Tim Burton fan you are. But then again, if you are, you've probably already seen this film, seeing that I'm reviewing it over a week since it came out. So yeah, guys, I give it a 6.5 out of 10. It was enjoyable enough. I don't regret coming to see it. It kept me entertained, and you know, despite being a little lacking in the middle of it, I liked how it did pick up towards the end, and you know, pretty much redeemed itself as a movie, because there in the middle, I didn't know where this was going, you know, and I didn't think it was going to end well, but it surprisingly did. It rebounded and had a satisfying ending for me. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much it, guys. That's my review for Dark Shadows. I'm Jason. You've been watching Beyond the Realms. Have a great one, guys.